Music videos, in my opinion, are such an underrated form of art. They can add so much to a song, whether it be through messaging, world building, or just some really cool editing or cinematography. But sometimes music videos can add a bit to a song in a fairly controversial way. Whether it be Lil Nas X twerking on the devil and creating a modern day satanic panic, Miley Cyrus riding a wrecking ball naked and terrifying parents across the country, or Madonna getting multiple music videos banned because of how controversial they were. There have been some crazy music videos. So today I wanted to look into some of the most controversial music videos of all time, starting off with Madonna, who actually had 3 insanely controversial ones. First though, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Qobuz. On this channel, I've covered different streaming services like Spotify and how, well, a lot of the biggest services aren't always the best. But Qobuz is a great independent music platform for music lovers, with a few very cool, unique features. First of all, Qobuz offers over 100 million tracks with the richest selection of high-quality music, making Qobuz the perfect music platform for those who are passionate about music. Second of all, Qobuz has editorial playlists in every genre, curated by their team, journalists, artists, labels, and partners that work with them. They really prioritize human curation, which is really cool, unlike some others, which can really help showcase a new, diverse group of genres and artists to you, the listener. The Discover page is very optimized and personalized for a great music discovery experience. You have your editor's picks, which of course are from the editorial team. There's the For You, which is personalized based on your listening habits, and the homepage, which has a mixture of the two. And one of the coolest things that Qobuz does is pay artists more than your average streaming service would. If you're passionate about music, if you want to support artists more, or if you're all of the above, then Qobuz is definitely for you. I highly recommend trying out Qobuz, and you can even import your libraries and playlists from other services for free using SoundIs. And right now, Qobuz is offering a free 2-month trial if you click my link in the description below. So why not give it a try and get the chance to listen to new high-quality music and support the artists that you love. Thanks again to Qobuz for sponsoring this video. I highly recommend the platform. And with that being said, let's continue. Madonna is a music legend. She's been dubbed the Queen of Pop and one of the most significant cultural figures in the 20th and 21st centuries. And a big reason she's had such strong staying power for so long is her ability to continuously reinvent herself and her music to match the times we're in. But sometimes these experiments with social, political, sexual, and religious themes have gotten her into some controversies, especially with her music videos. One of her first controversial videos was for her 1989 song Like a Prayer. The controversy came from Madonna's sexualization of religion. However, it was the music video which really ruffled some feathers. In the video, Madonna witnesses a white woman being sexually assaulted and then killed by a group of white men. But a black man is arrested for the crime, so Madonna turns to the church. The video also features a bunch of Christian imagery, a KKK burning of the cross, and a dream of Madonna kissing a black saint. So yeah, there's a lot going on in this video. And because of its imagery, Christian groups worldwide, including the Vatican, immediately condemned the video, while family and religious groups protested against its broadcast. At one point, they even started boycotting Pepsi and its subsidiaries, including KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, all because they were using the song in a commercial and sponsoring Madonna's next world tour. As a result, Pepsi actually canceled their contract with Madonna, and they were in such a rush to distance themselves from her that they actually just let her keep the $5 million they paid her.
A couple of people were threatening to boycott the bottling companies in the South.
Yeah,
and
Wildman, I mean,
well, I think they were really afraid that this whole thing was gonna like blow up, and they didn't want to do anything to harm Pepsi.
Yeah. Were you surprised by this?
Yeah, I was.
This song was a huge hit, and you've definitely heard it before, which makes it all the more surprising to find out about all of this controversy that it caused at the time. Years later, Madonna looked back at the Like a Prayer controversy, saying, "So began my illustrious career as an artist, refusing to compromise my artistic integrity. Artists are here to disturb the peace." And disturb the peace she continued to do. The next music video she had that was quite controversial was for her song Justify My Love in 1990. In the video, Madonna basically is seduced by a mysterious man and woman, and then practically teases a three-way for the rest of the time. And the guy is also wearing a giant crucifix, so more religion/sexual mashup sort of themes. Unlike Like a Prayer though, Justify My Love was pretty much all about sexual themes, which back in the 90s was a little bit more risque. The video was set to premiere as the main event on MTV's Madonnathon weekend event. However, the network suddenly announced that it could no longer be broadcast. MTV's correspondent Kurt Loder explained the reason, saying, "When MTV programming executives got their first look at the video's steamy bed scenes, gay and lesbian snuggling, S&M, and briefly bared female breasts, they decided they couldn't air it. In the past, MTV had let risky videos slide, like Madonna's Express Yourself, Oh Father, and Vogue, but apparently this time it was too far. Some industry insiders even theorized that the video was designed with the intention of being banned as a marketing stunt. And it kind of worked if that's true, because the controversy got a bunch of attention.
You know, if we're gonna have censorship, let's not be hypocrites about this. Let's not have double standards, you know? I mean, why is it okay for 10-year-olds to see, you know, someone's body being ripped to shreds, or Sam Kinison spitting on Jessica Hahn? Why are we gonna deal with these issues? Why is that okay? Why do parents not have a problem with that? But why do they have a problem with two adults, you know, two consenting adults displaying affection for each other, regardless of their sex?
In the end, the video was subsequently banned from MTV and all other networks internationally because it was so sexually explicit, which forced Madonna to sell it on her own, which did make her a good amount of money. And I even saw some reports saying that in Saudi Arabia, it was sold at a high price as illegal market porn. And while Madonna was riding the line with these videos and controversies, it wouldn't go as far as her next one. The music video for her 2003 song American Life started off with a military-themed fashion show. As it progressed, though, darker and darker depictions of war started to be shown, including soldiers getting limbs blown off and a ton of real graphic footage. The whole point of this was to expose the dark truth behind war, especially ones that the US is involved in, and how often it's covered up or hidden from the public. Due to its odd sound, Blender ranked it among the worst songs of all time, and the music video didn't help, especially since it came right after 9/11, which led to many critics accusing Madonna of being anti-American.
People could look at and say, Madonna is anti-American. Oh my God, look at this video she just put out.
Well, that couldn't be further from the truth.
In the video, which premieres on VH1 April 4th following the Madonna Speaks episode, she tosses a hand grenade and displays the graphic violence of war.
3 days before the video was set to be released, Madonna pulled it, stating that since the video was filmed before the US started a war with Iraq, it might come off wrong. To many, this was a huge moment. Some claimed it was the first time Madonna had self-censored, and others like Shakira said they expected more backbone from her. When Madonna did release a video for American Life, it was a new, highly edited, much less controversial video, and to some critics, it was pretty boring, with the original not being released until years later in 2023 on YouTube. However, this version was still without the original ending, which had a hand grenade being thrown at President Bush. Madonna's career was in part defined by controversy, so these controversial and shocking videos from her aren't that insane, but that isn't always the case with these other music videos. The Prodigy is a trailblazer and one of the most influential / successful electronic music groups in history. And despite controversy, their 1997 song Smack My Bitch Up was voted the third greatest dance track of all time by Mixed Mag readers in 2013. But its suggestive title is hardly the most controversial part, especially compared to its music video, which is a major reason the song was also subsequently voted as the most controversial song of all time in a survey conducted by PRS for Music. The rarely seen on TV music video depicts the first-person perspective of a drug and alcohol-fueled night out. The character first showers and gets dressed, then they ramp things up, drinking some vodka, sniffing some coke before they head out. At a bar, they have a bunch more drinks, they essay multiple women, violently attack several men, and destroy the DJ's equipment, all before running to the toilets to throw up and inject drugs. Later at a strip club, they drink more alcohol while watching nude dancers, and eventually break into and steal a car to bring one stripper home and have sex. Finally, after they hook up, a look in the mirror reveals the main character to have been a young blonde woman the entire time. This video has zero censorship, completely showing everything I just mentioned. Due to the lyrics alone, which consisted only of change my pitch up, smack my bitch up, the song was banned in a lot of places. And since the music video contained depictions of driving under the influence, drug use, violence, vandalism, nudity, and sex, it obviously attracted a lot of controversy. While the video was removed from even MTV's late night rotation, it was still somehow nominated for 4 awards in the 1998 MTV VMAs, and eventually won Best Dance Video and Breakthrough Video. The Prodigy even joked that since no radio station would play their song, that they made a music video that no one would play to go along with it. However, unlike the Prodigy, Miley Cyrus seemingly made her music videos with the intention of going viral, especially since she was only a couple years removed from her Disney star era. In 2011, Miley Cyrus left Disney and her hit show Hannah Montana at the age of 19. By this point, it was obvious she was growing out of her child star role and left to pursue what seemed like limitless potential in a music career. However, while one of her next moves would grab the world's attention, it wasn't for a reason that many viewers expected. In the summer of 2013, Miley Cyrus dropped the song We Can't Stop. The track had wild enough lyrics to start a controversy on their own, but when the music video released days later, the attention spiked to a new level. Before this, most fans pretty much remembered Miley for her innocent Disney days. So when the provocative music video for We Can't Stop was posted, it shot to almost 11 million views in the first 24 hours. and in a little over a month, it was at 100 million. The video depicted a house party with a bunch of odd or random things happening, including the creation of a mountain made of white bread, the kicking of a skull made of french fries, and the simulated slicing of a woman's fingers. But what made people especially mad was the twerking and just overall the sexual undertones. This really upset people, especially because just a few years back, Miley was one of the biggest child role models in the country because of Hannah Montana, and her viral live performance of the song at the VMAs caught just as much flack. With We Can't Stop, Miley set multiple Vivo streaming records that she again broke herself just months later. If parents thought the worst of it all was behind them, they were definitely wrong, because months later, Miley Cyrus put out Wrecking Ball. In the video, which now has over 1 billion views, Miley Cyrus is licking a sledgehammer, swinging on a wrecking ball, and as many of you may remember, at first she's wearing a little bit of clothing, but by the end of the video, she's only wearing boots. I remember I was 11 when this video came out, and I was curious. I checked it out. I told my uncle about it, and he snitched on me to my mom. Critics' initial responses were pretty negative, with most labeling the video as a poor attempt of transitioning into the next stage of her career, and across the globe the video was censored or banned entirely in multiple countries. And even Sinead O'Connor, who apparently inspired that video, expressed her concern and warned Miley about being prostituted by the music industry with her new provocative sexualization, which even prompted a little bit of a beef on Twitter between the two. To this day, Miley expresses regret with how the video was made and the execution of it all, especially the hammer licking part.
That's something you can't take away. Swinging around naked on a wrecking ball lives forever. Once you do that in a mass, that I did, it's forever. I'm never living that down. I will always be the naked girl on a wrecking ball. No matter how much I just frolic with Emu, I'm always the naked girl.
Licking a sledgehammer.
Yeah, exactly.
What it is.
I just licked the sledgehammer. I should have thought how long that was going to have to follow me around. Yeah.
But while Miley may have had some regrets for her video, it's hard to imagine Lil Nas X had any for his, seeing as how successful it was. The song Montero, Call Me By Your Name, was first premiered during a Super Bowl commercial, and the accompanying music video dropped later in March of 2021. At this point, Lil Nas X was still known for Old Town Road. He didn't really have too many controversies, so when this video for the song Montero hit the internet, viewers were shocked, to say the least, especially considering it features Lil Nas X as various characters in biblical and mythological inspired scenes, which isn't the sole problem. The biggest problem to many was that he mixed these religious themes with LGBTQ themes. The music video begins with Lil Nas X portraying both Adam and the serpent in the Garden of Eden. The serpent seduces Adam using its third eye, and the two kiss. And then he has a scene in the Colosseum where he's killed by a butt plug thrown from the crowd. After this, he starts to ascend toward an angelic figure in heaven before grabbing onto a pole, which sends him down to hell. As he pole dances, he makes his way over to Satan and proceeds to give him a lap dance wearing Calvin Klein underwear and thigh-high boots with stiletto heels, looking like Patrick from SpongeBob. Just kidding, Lil Nas X, you look good. And then after snapping Satan's neck, Lil Nas X crowns himself with horns as his eyes glow and wings emerge. The music video was praised by a bunch of LGBTQ groups, and weirdly enough, David Harris, a magister of the Church of Satan. But obviously, I'm sure as many of you remember, this video really upset conservatives, Christians, both of them together, who all deemed it immoral or harmful to children. There's also the big argument that since Old Town Road was such a kid-friendly song, or at least people kind of viewed it that way, that he shouldn't be doing this because he has a very young audience. On top of this, a bunch of pastors, athletes, and even some musicians criticized it as well.
I didn't even know who Lil Nas X was. Lil Thug, whoever. I had no idea who he was. We was riding this morning. Hudson said, well, you know what made him famous? I said, well, he said, it was that horses song. Got my horses and whatever that song. I was like, man, that song's got a cool beat. I'll never be able to listen to it again. A bunch of devil worshiping, wicked nonsense. Pentagram wearing on your Nike tennis shoes 666. You think I'm gonna stand for that? You've lost your mind. You tell Lil Nas X I said so. Bunch of Satanism, bunch of wickedness, bunch of devilism, bunch of demonism, bunch of psychotic wickedness.
He said in an interview that he grew up around Christianity and that his father was a gospel singer. He said that this made him feel very bad when he had these feelings for men. And Lil Nas X added on saying, I even thought if I have these feelings, it's just a test. A temporary test. It's going to go away. God is just tempting me. He continued that after accepting who he is, his video for Montero was rebellious and a form of expression. He was afraid to express who he really was, saying, like, I'm gay, but I'm not gay. Like, I'm gay, but I have to make sure you feel like I can be straight passing too. So this box he felt he was in was very limiting, which explains why he went so all out for this song. Regardless, following all of the controversy, he followed up with those Satan shoes, so clearly he was enjoying the attention that the controversy got him, and Montero ended up going #1, so it worked. Similarly to some of Madonna's controversies, Lil Nas X mainly pissed people off for his use of religious symbols, especially mixed with the LGBTQ themes. But unlike any of those songs, WAP sparked a lot of outrage without relying on religion at all. Cardi B and Meg the Stallion released WAP back in 2020, and it pretty much took over the internet. Aside from its very explicit sexual lyrics,
here are some of the lyrics. You ready? Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. Hold up. I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet ass P word. Make that pullout game weak. Yeah, you effin' with some wet ass P word. P word is female genitalia. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word.
The music video went just as far. Throughout the video, both Cardi and Megan walk around in a wacky-looking mansion with rooms of wild animals and other interesting designs, but the main thing that caused the controversy was the risky outfits, and of course, the very explicit lyrics. And since the song was so popular, pretty much everyone heard it or saw the video, which left a lot of parents upset. The lyrics and the music video combined were very controversial, invoking widespread outrage, especially again from right-wing influencers, kind of like the Ben Shapiro clip I showed you earlier. That clip is iconic, by the way. I had to include it. I think my impression's pretty good. Wet ass P word. The song did get support from a bunch of groups, but it also got a lot of criticism from the other side. And strangely, also from Carol Baskin from Tiger King, who was angry about the use of big cats in the video. Overall, this one's pretty simple, and people are just upset about the large amounts of sexuality on display, which really isn't that deep. Unlike Michael Jackson's video for the song They Don't Care About Us. So with this song, technically there's 3 different official music videos. The first was shot in Brazil, the second was in a prison set, and the third came out in 2020, which combined footage from both the Black Lives Matter protest scenes as well. But the one that had the most controversy was the original in Brazil. They Don't Care About Us is one of Michael's most controversial songs and was accused of being anti-Semitic for the lyrics "Jew me, sue me, everybody do me, kick me, can't say that, don't you black or white me." And there's a bunch of theories about why he said this, especially involving his record label, and I think those are kind of more on the conspiracy end, because Michael himself said the song in fact is about the pain of prejudice and hate and is a way to draw attention to social and political problems. I am the voice of the accused and the attacked. I am the voice of everyone. I am the skinhead, I am the Jew, I am the black man, I am the white man. I am not the one who is attacking. It is about the injustices to young people and how the system can wrongfully accuse them. I am angry and outraged that I could be so misinterpreted. Overall, the song aims to cover and speak for many oppressed people around the world, which led Michael to the favelas in Brazil for the music video. Making the music video was no easy task, since state authorities unsuccessfully tried to ban him from filming, because apparently they feared that images of poverty might affect tourism and accused him of exploiting the poor. The state secretary for Industry, Commerce, and Tourism even demanded editing rights over the final project. And some officials were also concerned that scenes of poverty and human rights abuses would affect their chances of hosting the Olympics in 2004, which when that's your main concern isn't the best look for your government. Like, maybe they should have focused a little bit on why Michael was choosing those cities for the video instead of complaining about tourism or the Olympics. And at one point, a judge banned all filming. However, this was eventually overturned. While officials were angry, residents couldn't be happier as they celebrated Michael's presence. They'd catch a little bit of flack for allegedly working with a drug dealer in order to secure the filming locations. Regardless, while this caused a decent bit of controversy for pretty much being an anthem of the oppressed, Michael's second version was the one that faced issues with screen time. In the prison one, real footage was shown of police attacking African Americans, the military crackdown of the protests in Tiananmen Square, the KKK, the assassination attempt of George Wallace, war crimes, genocide, execution, martial law, and other human rights abuses. Because of this, it was pretty much never played on TV, and on YouTube it has less than a tenth of the views of the Rio video. While Michael's videos were controversial because of the subject matter and the government's trying to stop him from exposing things, Kanye's next few videos were controversial because he's Kanye. Ye is obviously no stranger to controversy, especially in the last few years. But his history of crossing the line with his music dates back way farther than his recent anti-Semitic stuff. Back in 2010, Kanye dropped Monster as part of his My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy album. The song features Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, Bon Iver, or is it Bon Iver? I still don't know. And was heavily influenced by popular horror themes. An unfinished version of the music video was leaked just days before its scheduled release, which almost led to Ye shelving it completely, but instead he dropped the finished version months later on his website. The video opened up with an extensive disclaimer pointing out that the video is meant to be taken as art and not misogynistic or targeted at any group. Then it cuts to a video of 2 seemingly dead women hanging by chains, later on with Rick Ross sitting in a throne surrounded by them. Aside from this, there are pretty much dead girls present in some way throughout the rest of the video, and at one point Ye's holding a decapitated head of one of them by the hair. This sounds really weird and horrible, but apparently there was a reason for it. I guess all of these choices were references to classic horror movies, but a lot of people didn't realize that, and the delivery was received as weird and disturbing. Other publications like Entertainment Weekly and the Rolling Stone described the video and its execution as morbid, offensive, and lacking in creativity. Overall, the music video was received so poorly and rated so controversially that it was fully banned by MTV, which I suppose by this point in 2010 doesn't really matter. Critics at The Atlantic went as far as to say the video is both racist and sexist in nature, specifically due to its unbalanced targeting of white women. The uproar grew so loud that a petition for the video to be scrubbed from all platforms started picking up steam, which led to even Ye deleting it from his YouTube channel. However, in some way, Somehow, this was not Kanye's most controversial video. In 2016, Ye put out Famous as part of his The Life of Pablo album, which caused a lot of controversy with its lyrics alone, especially the ones aimed at Taylor Swift. But the music video that debuted as a title exclusive was a bit more shocking, and I don't think anyone saw the concept for the Famous video coming. The video begins with a camera passing slowly over the naked, look-alike sleeping bodies of famous personalities, including George W. Bush, Donald Trump, Anna Wintour, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian, Ray J, Amber Rose, Caitlyn Jenner, Bill Cosby, and Kanye himself. At one point, the music cuts out in an eerie pause and the camera jumps to different angles, with the only thing you can hear is breathing. Then at the end, Ye suddenly wakes up and looks directly into the camera. Obviously, all the bodies were synthetic wax sculptures, but they still look shockingly realistic, and the nudity part was also included somehow. Not sure how YouTube allowed that, but they demonetized all my stuff. I don't know why they let that fly. But this video was so crazy it went viral. Much to my surprise, there was not much reaction from the celebrities pictured, but fans in general were very polarized. While the video wasn't necessarily banned, it rapidly reached over 100,000 dislikes and has now climbed all the way up to almost 750,000, which is insane. But as we've seen in the past few years, stunts like this were only the start for Kanye and the wild run that followed. If you like this, you might like my video about the most controversial songs and songs that were banned, as there's some very interesting stuff in there. So make sure to click the video that's on screen right now.